You're watching News Channel 4, the news leader.
Tragedy in Stillwater over the weekend. Families gathered for the OSU Homecoming Parade when a car plowed into the crowd. We are monitoring the condition of those fighting for their lives this morning.
The woman behind the wheel in that crash scheduled to appear in court today. She was arrested for DUI, but her lawyer says drugs and alcohol had nothing to do with it.
Plus, a freak accident in Canada. A whale-watching tour boat sank off the coast of Vancouver. Rescuers working to find the missing overnight. Good Monday morning, everyone. I'm Allie Meyer.
And I'm Lacey Lett filling in for Ken Ogle on your Monday. Definitely a chilly start. Had to bring out the coat this morning.
Gosh, it does feel like fall outside. Good morning, Emily.
I know, we bust out the sweaters. You need
Yeah.
a sweater, Lacey.
Orange.
It's chilly.
I know.
Yeah, yes.
I just prefer my coat, you know.
Yeah, well, don't forget the coat. I made that mistake. It's a cool start, and we are going to have that, obviously feeling more like fall the next couple of days. And I know a lot of kiddos and parents are keeping their eyes on the Halloween forecast. It may be a little stormy, so heads up. Let's take a look outside right now. We are tracking a frost advisory through the morning in northwestern Oklahoma. Storm scanner showing clear skies, light winds. It's allowing for chilly temps. 39 for Alva, 39 for Woodward. It's a chilly 37 at Stillwater and 43 for OKC. Taking a look at those winds, they are light for the most part, just at 5 miles per hour out of the north. This afternoon, we will have mostly sunny skies. It will be a gorgeous afternoon. Just a little chilly for at least the first half, 67 degrees. I'm tracking that Halloween storm system. More on the timing coming up, ladies.
Emily, thank you. We want to start off this half hour with some breaking news. Police and the bomb squad called out to a standoff in northeast Oklahoma City. Here we are near Northeast 122nd and I-35.
And here's what we know. The fire department first responded around 3 a.m. because a car was on fire here. Now, when they arrived, they found a man inside of that car refusing to get out, even though it was filled with smoke.
They evacuated the building nearby and called the bomb squad out as a precaution. After about an hour, that suspect surrendered and was taken into police custody. This morning, we are learning more about those killed and those who were injured at the Oklahoma State Homecoming Parade on Saturday morning.
That terrifying moment all captured on cell phone video, and we do want to warn you that this video is graphic.
Gray car you saw move from the right of your screen to the left, plowed across the intersection and into that crowd of people. 4 people died, 46 were injured. 5 of the injured are still listed in critical condition.
Among the fatalities, this little boy, 2-year-old Nash Lucas, he's from Stillwater. Nash was the son of an OSU student employee.
Also, 23-year-old Nikita Nicole perished in that crash. She was an MBA student at UCO in Edmond.
And a 65-year-old couple with ties to Oklahoma State University. Dr. Marvin Stone was a Regents professor who retired in 2006 following 24 years of service.
Dr. Stone and his wife Bonnie both served the university for decades. OSU is discussing plans for memorial service and will provide details as soon as possible.
And now let's talk about OU Medical Center. Hospital staff and the victims affected by Saturday's homecoming disaster are now speaking out.
Memories still very fresh today. News Channel 4's Ashley Kringen joins us now live from OU Med with more reactions from some of the folks involved in the recovery here. Good morning.
Good morning. 8 patients were flown here to OU Med, including 5 children and 3 adults. One of the children, like you just mentioned, 2-year-old Nash, passed away on Saturday. We were in Stillwater the day of, and I can describe the day as being very somber as far as emotions concerned. We spoke to a lot of fans who say despite OSU's big win and the occasional cheers, it was relatively quiet in the stadium. A lot of people talking about what happened. There weren't a lot of smiles that day. Let's take a look at some video. We know it's going to be a memory very hard to forget for many, including Mark McNitt. His stepfather, Leo Schmitz, was one of the injured flown to OU Medical in critical condition after the car plowed into the crowd of spectators.
All I remember is a gush of wind and then the sound. And Leo, who was standing next to me, wasn't standing next to me.
The parade crash is the type of mass casualty situation doctors and staff are trained for. Extra surgeons, nurses, x-ray techs, and even cleaning crews were helping out in the emergency room. 46 families in total were affected. We have a list of all of the victims on our website. Just log on to k4.com. From OU Med, I'm Ashley Kringa, News Channel 4.
Ashley, thanks for that wrap up this morning. We'll check back. The woman behind the wheel during that crash is in the Payne County Jail this morning. 25-year-old Adacia Chambers was arrested for DUI at the intersection of Hall of Fame and Main in Stillwater on Saturday and then Sunday. Investigators with the Payne County District Attorney's Office decided to charge Chambers in addition with 4 counts of second-degree manslaughter for the 4 deaths. Her attorney says he does not think alcohol was to blame. He says after meeting with Chambers, he does have serious doubts about her mental health. News Channel 4's Sarah Stewart has more now from Chambers' attorney as investigators continue their work.
Everyone wants to know what caused 25-year-old Adacia Chambers to plow her car into a crowd of people. Her lawyer says he's sure it was not alcohol.
There didn't appear to be the smell of alcohol coming from her body. Her behavior was not consistent with someone who was coming off of a drunken stupor.
And while we won't know about drugs until the results of the blood tests come back, Tony Coleman says he's convinced his client suffers from a mental illness and said she'd been displaying warning signs.
It's been shared that there were several days that she would go without sleeping, a very uneasiness about her, uncertainty about her future, her perception about herself, her perception about what others thought about her.
Coleman says the night before the accident, Chambers was participating in a homecoming tradition called Walk Around, where Stillwater residents look at the decorations in different neighborhoods.
She was with her grandmother and her aunt. Both confirmed that she did not take any alcohol at any time. She's not a drinker.
And Coleman says the next morning her live-in boyfriend said she seemed fine before leaving for work around 8:30. But her lawyer says there is a dark period from the time she left work to the time of the crash that she doesn't really remember.
She doesn't remember a whole lot about what happened. There was a period where I think that, for a better lack of term, she could have even blacked out. She only remembers, from what was communicated with me, the end of the crash, people removing her from the car, shards of glass being everywhere, and her being extremely confused while at the same time trying to maintain the ability to cooperate.
Coleman says the Chambers family is devastated by this, and while he acknowledges the seriousness and horror of what happened, he says the person he met with does not resemble the monster some feel she must be.
She wasn't a drinker. She wasn't a person known to do drugs. In fact, the only things that I've gotten from folks has been, these are Christian people. Her entire family are Christian people. She's Cherokee Indian, and they are very well known, loved, and respected in Oologah, where they're from.
Sarah Stewart reporting. That attorney, Tony Coleman, also says Chambers has contemplated suicide in the past, though he said he does not think what happened Saturday was a suicide attempt. Chambers will be in court for the first time later today. News Channel 4 will be there.
And last night, students and community members held a vigil on campus at OSU. Hundreds of people gathered, bringing items to honor the victims. Many said prayers, while others had a moment of silence. Counselors will be on campus available to talk with the students and the employees today. After the tragedy Saturday morning, it was hard for many OSU fans, of course, to cheer and smile at the homecoming game. Before kickoff, players from both teams took part in a moment of silence to honor those who lost their lives. Even in Norman, OU fans put football rivalries aside to show support for Stillwater. Fans say Boone Pick'em Stadium was much quieter than usual that afternoon.
Oh, everybody around us was just talking about how they couldn't believe it had happened. I mean, it's a family event. It was a time when families get together once a year and just talking about the tragedy of all.
A very somber and emotional day in Stillwater for a community that's no stranger to tragedy.
5:09 right now, and switching gears here in central Oklahoma, we have dipped into the 40s at 45 degrees.
Yeah, definitely need a jacket or something when you go out today because it's a chilly one.
That's right, and it's going to be a chilly start for the next several days. I mean, it is fall, so kids, you want to wear the coat this morning. It's not like when we have those above normal temps. It's finally feeling fall, and it's going to be cool through the afternoon, even a high of 67 degrees, but we will have mostly sunny skies. A great day to go out and play. Temperatures now have dropped into the mid-30s almost for northwestern Oklahoma, 37 for Woodward, 36 for Stillwater, and 36 for Ponca City. Now that is chilly. Our winds generally on the light side. This afternoon we'll have some gorgeous weather in the upper 60s. I'll have more on our Halloween storm system coming up. Allie?
Emily, thank you. At least 5 people killed in Canada when the whale-watching boat they were on sank to the bottom. Officials say 27 people were aboard this boat when it took on water and sank yesterday near Vancouver Island, Canada. We know one person is still missing. The Mayday call went out around 4 p.m. yesterday. Witnesses say more than 15 ambulances responded to the docks where the boat had set sail. No word yet on the condition of those survivors.
We're looking at 5:11 right now on your Monday morning.
And parts of Texas pounded by heavy rain over the weekend, wreaking havoc on some of their roadways.
A 16-year-old lucky to be alive after the road disappeared from under him. Now he's got quite the story to tell. Not a vehicle either. That's next on News Channel 4.